evening. You're watching the news on African Free Press Television. My name is Leo Oketa with the news updates. The chairman of the Benue Traditional Council and the paramount ruler of the third Thief, Alfred Tokula, has passed on. The third Thief, who was installed as the fourth third Thief in April 1991, died on Monday in a private hospital in Boko, the traditional seat of his throne. The third Thief was aged 71 years. Confirming the death on Tuesday in Makurdi, Governor Samuel Otom said he had already paid his condolences to the deceased family. Mr. Otom said members of the Thief Traditional Council were on their way to Government House for proper briefing and the handover of the staff of office, which was previously held by the former king. He said details of the burial plans would be announced later. The third Thief was also the Pro-Chancellor of the Michael Okpara University in Abia State. Former Governor of Abia State, Dr. Orji Kalo, has described the loss of Kogi State All Progressive Congress APC governorship candidate Prince Abubakar Audu as a consummate politician whose death is a big blow to the nation. Kalo, who acknowledged the late politician as a selfless leader, recalled his last encounter with Audu. In a statement issued by his special advisor Kunle Oyewunmi, Kalo said he received with rude shock and sadness the news of the passing of his former colleague and friend Audu. He recalled the late Audu was hale and hearty when he visited him in Lokoja a few days ago before the November 21st governorship election in Kogi State. He described the death as a personal loss to him and his family. A People's Democratic Party senator representing Abia South, Senator Inyinaya Abaribe, has asked the Senate to summon President Buhari on the fuel scarcity saga in the country. He made the call in the Senate today, saying that since Buhari is the minister in charge of Nigeria's petroleum resources, he should be made to answer all questions bordering on the sector. President Buhari and the State Minister for Petroleum Resources, Ibe Kachuku, are currently in Iran attending the Third Gas Exporting Countries Forum, GECF. They are, however, expected to be back to the country today, being November the 24th. And meanwhile, Nigeria's central bank on Tuesday cut policy interest rate for the first time in almost 4 years. At the end of its two-day rate-setting meeting, the CBN chief Godwin Emefiele announced a 200 points cut to 11% in headline interest rate from 13% previously. The financial regulator also shaves off the cash reserve ratio (CRR) sharply from 25% to 20%. The deepest cut in the harmonized rate following a smaller easing done by the CBN last September. The decision to cut both the policy rate and the harmonized cash reserve ratio, the CBN governor said, was to engineer growth by increasing the flow of lending to critical sectors of the economy like agriculture, solid minerals, critical social infrastructure, and manufacturing. The Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, has stressed the need for Nigerians to positively change their attitudes in order to achieve a paradigm shift in the way they do things. In line with the change mantra of the Buhari administration, the minister made the call in his speech at the opening session of a meeting on the impending launch of a nationwide reorientation campaign by the ministry in Abuja on Tuesday. And on the foreign scene, a 15-year-old boy has died of Ebola in Liberia less than 3 months after the country was declared free of the virus. Officials have said so. He tested positive last week and died late on Monday at a treatment center near the capital, Monrovia. Francis Carter, the chief medical officer, reported. His father and brother are being treated for Ebola at the center. Liberia has seen more than 10,000 Ebola cases and more than 4,000 deaths since the West Africa outbreak began in 2013. The World Health Organization, WHO, has twice declared Liberia to be Ebola-free, once in May and again in September. And still on the foreign scene, Russian President Vladimir Putin has bitterly condemned the downing of a Russian jet on the Turkey-Syria border. He described it as a stab in the back committed by accomplices of terrorists. Turkey says its jet shot at the plane after warning it that it was violating Turkish airspace, but Moscow says it never strayed from Syrian airspace. NATO is to hold an extraordinary meeting to discuss the incident at Turkey's request. Mr. Putin has warned that there will be serious consequences for Moscow's relation with Turkey. And now in sports, Jose Mourinho says Chelsea players' confidence is returning ahead of the trip to Maccabi. To qualify, Chelsea will be hoping Dinamo Kiev drop points at Group G leaders Porto while they beat Maccabi. Chelsea have won only 3 of the last 11 games in all competition, but Maccabi have not been in good form in Champions League also, as they are yet to earn their first point. Also, Arsenal's senior players Petr Cech and Matthew Flamini have been rallying their colleagues to regroup and recover quickly after Saturday's 2-1 defeat to West Bromwich Albion. Oliver Giroud puts the Gunners in front just before the half-hour mark before the host hits back with 2 goals in the space of 5 minutes before half-time. Santi Cazorla then missed a penalty as Arsene Wenger's side slipped to their first Premier League defeat in 7 games. And that's the story for you on African Free Press Television. For more news, please do log on to our website at www.africanfreepress.com. Follow us on Twitter at African Free Press. Like our Facebook page at African Free Press. Do join us in our discussions on African Free Press Forum and subscribe to our YouTube channel at African Free Press. From me, Leo Oketa, and the whole team in the studio, this is the news as edited by Chiadiko Vitasie. Do enjoy the rest of your evening.